right. What we're talking today about is chapter 4.2, which is standard form versus vertex form. Okay, whenever I say standard form, what I'm talking about is this right here. That is standard form. Vertex form is what you all like. Y equals a parenthesis x minus h squared plus k. That is your vertex form. You guys know up, down, left, right, stretch, compress, reflect. You know all about that function, don't you? It makes complete sense to you. However, this function, ax squared plus bx plus c, you don't know much about. Okay? So our goal today is to take an ax squared plus bx plus c and turn it into y equals a parenthesis x minus h quantity squared plus k. That is our goal. Because if you put it in this form, then you know a lot about it, don't you? So how do we go about doing that? Well, the way we're going to go about doing that is by understanding that A is your vertical stretch or compress. It never changes. Okay? So the A that you see in this formula is the A that you are going to have in the other formula as well. Any questions over what I just said on that? Okay. Now, with that being said, the A value is still responsible for telling you if it's reflected, because it's negative, meaning it has a maximum, or if it's not reflected and it has a minimum and it's opening up. Positive A, it's opening up, negative A is opening down. Positive A is opening up, negative A is opening down. Do we all understand what I just said? Now, how do I find my vertex given ax squared plus bx plus c? My vertex is found by finding my x coordinate and my y coordinate, also known as h and k. H is going to be found by taking negative b divided by 2a. After you find that value, you are going to take that value and plug it into the original function. So let's go about this. We ready? First example, I give you what is the vertex form of y equals 2x squared plus 10x plus 7. The very first thing I want your brain to identify is A, B, and C. What is A? A is the value 2. What is B? And what is C? I technically don't need 7, which is my C value. But later on, we're going to be doing a quadratic formula, and I want you to get in the habit of finding A, B, and C to be able to effectively do that procedure later on. Do you all understand? So the next thing I want to do is I want to find my H value. My H value is found by doing negative B over 2A. So that means I'm going to have a negative parenthesis 10 all over 2 parenthesis 2. Do we all understand that, yes or no? So this is going to give me a negative 10 over 4, which reduces down to negative 5 over 2. This is your H value. Are we good on that so far? I need visual or verbal that we are all okay. Excellent. Next thing is we have to find our K value. Our K value is found by simply taking my original problem and plugging and chugging my H value in. So I'm going to have y is equal to 2x squared plus 10x plus 7. And I'm going to simply plug in negative 5 over 2 and 4x. So what this is going to give me is 2 parentheses, negative 5 over 2 squared, plus 10 parentheses, negative 5 over 2, plus 7. Like any place else in our lives, we always want to be working smarter rather than harder. Mathematically, what does that mean, to work smarter rather than harder? This is not an exercise of do you guys know how to do order of operations and multiply fractions and reduce fractions effectively. This is a procedure where I'm trying to test and make you learn how to find your vertex, given any form. So what that means is you are simply going to pull up your calculator. You're going to go home to your home screen, and you're going to want a new document. No, you do not want to save the unsaved changes, and you want a calculator page. You are simply going to type in there exactly what we wrote over here. And what we wrote over here is this right here. You are going to type in exactly what you wrote. Parentheses and everything. Do we all see that? Yes or no? Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type in there 2 parentheses negative 5. Well, probably not going to on that one. So this is going to be 2 parentheses negative 5 divided by 2 squared plus 10 parentheses negative 5 divided by 2 plus 7. And I'm going to hit enter. And what is my k value now? Negative 11 over 2. That is my k value. So my vertex form, which is what it's asking for, is y is equal to a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. That is the form that it's asking for. So we are simply going to plug in h, k, and a. We are simply going to plug in h, k, and a into that formula down there. So that is going to be y is equal to a is 2, x stays, minus h is going to be a negative 5 over 2 squared, and k is going to be minus 11 over 2. What do I not like about that? The double negative I don't like. So you are going to rewrite that and make that y is equal to 2 parentheses x plus 5 over 2 squared minus 11 over 2. This is the vertex form that it is asking for. Do we understand that problem? Make sense? Now the next 2 slides in your notes is exactly the way your homework is. Do y'all understand this? I gave you an example of how to just find the vertex form. Now we're going to actually do problems like you would do out of your homework. You ready? So here we go. Place the equation in vertex form. Then find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and if it is a maximum or minimum, and the range for the following equations. Those are the directions straight out of tonight's homework. Okay, are we ready? First thing you need to do is what? A, B, and C. What is A? What is B? And what is C? Okay, now, the very first thing that your brain should notice is my A value. What is my A value in this problem? Negative 2. What does the negative 2 tell me about this problem? It is reflected, which means instead of having a minimum value, I now will have a maximum. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to simply say circle max. Because I know I'm going to have it, because this thing is reflected, because my A value is negative. When your A value is negative, it's reflecting how the maximum is set. Do we all understand that? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the rest of this information. So how do I go about that? I need to first find h. H is negative b over 2a, so that's going to be a negative times a negative 3 over 2 times a negative 2. So that's a 3 over negative 4. Does everybody see what I just did there? Yes or no? Now watch. I'm going to come over here, and where it says vertex, I'm going to start to write negative 3 over 4. What else can I do over here? As soon as you find h, what else do you have immediately? Your axis of symmetry. Who said axis of symmetry? Stackhouse, good job. So your axis of symmetry is going to be x is equal to negative 3/4. Does that make sense? As soon as you find h, you are able to get your axis of symmetry. Yes? Okay, so now I found h. Now what do I need to do? I need to find my k value. Well, to find my k value, I have to plug and chug. So that's going to be negative 2 parentheses negative 3/4 squared minus 3 parentheses negative 3/4 plus 4. Yes? Oh, I put it on the wrong thing. Thanks, Nick. I figured it out whenever I went to write. Good job. I'm so sorry I wrote it on the wrong line, folks. I said it. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to my calculator. going to type that in. -2 parenthesis, -3 divided by 4 squared. -3 parenthesis, -3 divided by 4 plus 4. And hit enter. What is my k value? 41 over 8. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to say that k is equal to 41 over 8. All right, well, what can I finish off now? My vertex. Now, I need to get my vertex form. So how do I get my vertex form? My vertex form is going to be y equals a is going to be what value? -2 parenthesis x minus h. What's h? -3/4 quantity squared plus k, which is 41 over 8. Do I like the way that is written? What do I need to do? Y is equal to -2 parenthesis x plus 3 over 4 quantity squared plus 41 over 8. This is what I needed to see. Now, we're taking yesterday's lesson and slapping it with today's lesson and combining it. So of course I want you to graph this thing, correct? And since I want you to make a nice little sketch of this, you're going to say, okay, well, where's -3/4 and 41 over 8? Well, that's going to be right here in the second quadrant somewhere, right? Don't really care what your scale is going to be. I just want you to know where it's approximately at, okay? And we said that this thing has a value of a being -2, which means since it's negative, it opens down. Which means I have a maximum value at what y coordinate? At 41 over 8. Very good. Now, what is my range? What is my range? My range is read from bottom of your y values to the top. Keep going, Kevin. Parenthesis, -infinity.
41 over 8.
Very good. This is what we call interval notation. Now, yesterday I talked about set notation with you guys as well, didn't I? So we're going to go ahead and include that. And we're going to say that this is going to be y is an element of the reals such that. Can you describe to me what this is? What can y be? Try. Very good. Y is any value as long as it's less than or equal to 41 over 8. Close the bracket or the phrase. Now, why am I showing you that set notation? Because Math Excel is going to want just this part of it right here for the range later on. Math Excel is going to want that part later on in your homework this week to be able to understand that. Okay? So you're going to have to be able to read the notation and understand what part it's asking for. Any questions on number 13 here? Feeling it? Do we understand? Yeah, let's do it again, shall we? Next one here, same concept. What's the very first thing you want to do out of this thing? Find A, B, and C. What is A? A is 9 over 4. What's B? And what is C? Very good. So I have A, B, and C. So what's the next thing I need to do? What's the next thing? Why do you say I have a max? It's positive, so since it's positive, I have it's opening up and I have a minimum. So since it's positive A, I have a minimum value. Do we all understand that? Since my A value is positive, I have a minimum. It's opening up. Okay? All right, now, the next thing I want to do is I want to find my H value. So H is equal to -b over 2a. So that's going to be a -3 over 2 times a 9 over 4. Work smarter, not harder. So what should I do? I'm going to come right over here, and I'm going to do control division key. Do you see that? Control division key. -3, arrow down, 2 times 9 divided by 4. Hit enter. And what does it give you? Negative 2/3. Do we see that? Negative 2/3. So that is what my H value is. This is negative 2/3. Well, where can that negative 2/3 go? It's the start of my vertex. What else is it? Axis of symmetry, so x is equal to negative 2/3. And how about I put it on the right level this time? We all good? Okay, now what do I need to do? I need to find k. K is going to be equal to 9/4, parenthesis, negative 2/3 squared, plus 3, parenthesis, negative 2/3, minus 1. Now I'd like you all to watch this a moment. How I entered this in. Are you ready? Control division. 9, arrow down 4. Arrow to the right. Parenthesis, arrow up once and hit enter. Arrow to the right, squared key. Plus 3, parenthesis, arrow up, enter. Arrow to the right, minus 1. Arrowing up and hitting enter grabs the previous entry. It's kind of like a quick copy and paste. Do we all understand that? Do you have to do what I just did? Absolutely not. It's just a shortcut way for you to be able to enter your calculator more efficiently. Okay? Hit enter. And I'm going to get negative 2 as my k value. Negative 2 is my k value. So where does negative 2 going to go now? It's going to finish off my vertex. And now if I graph this thing, I'm going to graph negative 2/3, negative 2. That puts me here. And we said I have a minimum value because it's opening up. Where is my minimum value at? It is at negative 2. Did we see that? Okay, now, we never once wrote the equation yet, did we? I have to write that equation. So how do I go about that? That is going to be y is equal to, a is going to be the value 9/4, parenthesis x minus a negative 2/3 squared minus a 2. What do I not like? I don't like that double negative. You won't always have it. Sometimes you will. And that's going to be 9/4 x plus 2/3 squared minus 2. Now, how do I read my range? Very good. It starts at negative 2, which is why we have to include it with a bracket, and it goes all the way to infinity with a parenthesis. Now, how do I write that with set notation? Y is an element of the real such that. Now describe y to me. Yep. Help yourselves out, guys. If it's opening up, it has to be the greater than symbol. If it's opening down, it has to be the less than symbol. It's that simple. Make sense? Greater than opening up, less than opening down, right? Okay, tonight's homework, let me pass that out to you. Okay, let me write the directions for you. The very first thing I did is I gave you standard form and vertex form formulas on the top of your paper. Do we all understand that? The reason why I did it is because oftentimes you guys forget whenever you're reading the instructions what form is what. So I wanted to make sure that you understood what I meant whenever I was talking about vertex form versus standard form. Okay? So it says place the equation in vertex form like above, and then find the vertex axis of symmetry if it is a maximum, minimum, and the range for the following equation. So it's exactly like we've been doing on the last two problems in our notes. Yes? I give you a spot to do calculations, and I give you a spot to do a quick sketch. Any questions over what you have to do for problems 1 through 4? Turn it over, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 are the same. Now let's look at problem 9. A model for a company's revenue. What's revenue? I'm sorry? Money. Money you're making, right? Revenue is the money you're bringing in. revenue from selling a software package is RFP is equal to negative 2.5 P squared plus 400 P. Look at that equation. Negative 2.5 P squared plus 400 P. Is that a parabola?
Yeah.
Replace the P's with X's. Negative 2.5x squared plus 400x. Is that a parabola equation? Yes, it is. And based upon that, can you tell me, what is my A value? Negative 2.5. So what can you tell me about that parabola? Is it open up or is it open down? It opens down, which means is there a maximum or a minimum? There is a maximum. And it really makes sense, wouldn't it? Because we're talking about revenue. What do we always want to do with our money? Maximize it as much as we possibly can and increase it, right? So they're telling me that P is the price in dollars of the software. So if P is your dollars, it's how much you're purchasing the software for. I want to know what the maximum revenue is. Revenue is how much money you're getting out of it. You with me? What is the price you're selling for this, and what is the revenue you're going to obtain from it? So let that sink in and really try to work that through. We'll talk about that tomorrow in class. And number 10 is a review problem. Any questions over tonight's homework? The answer key to tonight's homework is on the board hanging right here. I would like you to get busy, start it, and come up and check your work as you go. Questions, comments, or concerns? No, you may not take a picture. Okay, the rest of the time is yours.